It's E&E's second annual Podzilly Awards. Open the theater. Lights, cameras, action! Movies and actors, all the highs and lows. Which one's made our 2025 list? Let's get on with the show!
Oh shit, I just realized we don't have an intro. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our favorite, one of our favorite shows to do every year. It's the 2025 end of the year award show with extras and epilogues. Of course, it's your favorite show and mine. We review films all year long, and tonight is the night that we pick our favorites, our least favorites. We give them these awards. It's almost as coveted as the 420 Awards with Daddy Derek. Not quite. Close to, but not quite. And we've got all the categories are back this year. We've got a whole year of movies to talk about. Let's jump into it. I'm so excited and potentially high. My name is Shannon Young. The theater is open once more. Oh, did I bring my water in? That's going to be a problem later. Okay, there it is. The theater is open once again, and we don't have a specific movie. Normally, Hunter will write us up a nice little thing. I'll read it. We don't have that tonight. We're flying by the seat of our awards pants. So let me just introduce my co-host, the benevolent Double H.
So two things. Number one, I like the phrase awards pants.
Yes.
That's pretty good.
Thank you.
And two, we can now officially call this the second annual
year
in review.
Yeah.
Right. Last year it was inaugural,
right,
because you can't guarantee another one will happen, but
right,
it did, and we're here, and now it's happening.
Yeah, last year I just had the idea of we don't get to do anything like this normally. We should do an award show,
right?
And this is the perfect show to do that, because we talk about these films all year long, and it's probably usually weekly my favorite show to do, because I love talking about movies. It's very it's very focused, unlike a Thursday or whatever where we just kind of go all over the place. So it's great, and the Siskel and Ebert end of the year shows they did were always my favorites. I could listen to those guys talk about movies all day and night, and if you guys listening to this take a fraction of enjoyment from us that you would get from them, then I think we did our job very well. So Double H, before we jump into it, will you tell our fans and haters, if they're listening, and Trump, because I know he's listening, what are the categories for this year's show?
So following on last year, our categories, and I think we're probably going to go out of order from what I have them written here, because I think we end on the big guys. Right. But we had a pretty solid lineup last year. We decided to stick with that this year. So we're going to talk about both our biggest surprise film and our most disappointing. That would be, again, one that caught us off guard that we didn't expect to be great and actually was great. And then one that we were hoping was going to be good and was not as good, or was downright bad. That is also true for actors and actresses. So we're going to do a best and worst actor and a best and worst actress. We also put /role. So sometimes, of course, it's not the person, it's the role. They're just doing what they can with it, but it doesn't work out very well.
Sure.
And then the big guns. And that's our top 5 and our worst 5 films. Generally, we do an honorable mention for each one. So top 5 and worst 5 also get their honorable mentions. That's usually where I personally, at least, you're good. I personally delineate between the films I've seen and the ones I haven't. So because usually I'd say, it would be unfair to say these are the best 5 films of the year. There are also things I've seen a million times over. I try to pick stuff that I have seen for the first time this year.
And I don't do that. I just combine my favorites and my least favorites with ones that I haven't seen and ones that I have seen.
Yes.
Which, speaking of which, okay, I'm glad you said the honorable mention, because I had on my top 5 movies, I had one where I was like, I love this movie, but I don't feel like it deserves top 5. I'm glad you said that, because now I can put a different one in. So
on my worst 5, the only where I have like a full set of 5 honorable mentions is the top 5. I have an actual top 5, and then I have the top 5 like classics. Sure. For worst 5, I have just 5, and then I've got a single. I have 2 written down right now, but I'm going to have to pick between those 2 for my honorable mention. Yep.
Well, I have it listed as you had it, so I started with most disappointing and going up. Do you want to start there, or do you want to start with actors and then save the movies themselves for last?
No, let's it's what do they say about, bad news first? Let's start with the bad news.
All right. Well, we're going to start tonight's awards show, the second annual Podzillies, with the
Podzillies.
I like that.
I do like that.
With the most disappointing film. Now, these are films that were either just bad. And we watched them and we were just incredibly disappointed, or that we thought they were good, or we were going in hoping they'd be good. And maybe they're not the worst movies of the year. That comes a little bit later, but they're the most disappointing films to us. I think a great example of that would be, to go back, well, it probably hit both lists. I was going to say Dog Soldiers, because we all loved that movie so much we thought, and then we rewatched it and we were incredibly disappointed by how bad it was.
Right. And we didn't do an award show that year. Our very first year, we started midway through the year, and we did not do anything at the end of the year. So
right. But it would have been on some list. Yep. So let's start. I guess we'll start with the honorable mentions, and then we'll go to the winner, although you probably don't want to win this award. There's a couple on here, a couple Podzillies you want to avoid. I'll go first. We'll switch back and forth. Okay. My honorable mention for most disappointing film this year, get your pitchforks out, ladies and gentlemen, it is The Breakfast Club. Look, I famously, I did not like this movie. I still need to rewatch it, and I will in 2026, and maybe I'll change my mind. Maybe next year we'll add the Redemption Award for a movie that we rewatched and went, it really wasn't as bad as I said originally. But I could not stand this film. I think on a technical level, it was well done. Great cast. But Bender himself, played by, what's his name? Judd Nelson. Judd Nelson. Yeah. I don't understand why he was the character everyone came out going, oh my God, I'm so in love with him. I guess because he's the bad boy, but he was so obnoxious and unlikable. And even though you're supposed to see him grow as a character, he never really does, to me, grow as a character beyond becoming whiny and then less whiny and then angry, but he never redeems himself. He never becomes likable. These characters flip-flop back and forth between whether or not you're supposed to like them or dislike them. And to me, this movie just missed the mark completely. And I thought to myself, well, maybe I just don't do films that I'm not used to, but I think you're going to find out a little bit later that's not true. But I would be lying if I said The Breakfast Club wasn't an incredible disappointment for me, because I've heard it was so good for so long and it just wasn't for me. Now, I was the only one famously on that show that didn't like it. Everyone else gave it 2 thumbs up, so I understand that I am in the minority here. It's a Gremlins situation with Hunter. As you said during that show, everyone loves Gremlins, but you just didn't like it. It happens. Yeah. So, yeah, Breakfast Club is my honorable mention. And I guess we'll go back and forth with honorable mentions and then our picks. So go ahead. What's your honorable mention for most disappointing film?
Sorry, Tanner. My most disappointing honorable mention is going to be History of the World Part 1.
That's fair.
Because, again, I really wanted to love this movie. It's Mel Brooks. Most of what I've seen from Mel Brooks, I've always really enjoyed. In fact, go back and listen to the rest of that month, and I don't think there's a single thing that disappointed me. I may not love every one of those movies, but I'm always laughing at this guy. He's funny. There's no surprise there. Mel Brooks is just a great filmmaker, or else he wouldn't have been able to make as many films as he's made.
Right.
That said, I did not in any way find most of History of the World Part 1 very funny. It felt really lowbrow. It felt really just not Mel Brooks' speed. Mm-hmm. There were a lot of times that I went, this isn't his humor, or if it is, it's not hitting right for me. It felt a little too Monty Python for me, like that sort of kind of off-kilter British humor. And then just, that combined with gross out stuff, fart jokes, and the kind of things that you and I both kind of, sneer at most of the time at this point, unless they're done in the right context, like a Beavis and Butthead or something. So, man, it's not a film I want to revisit anytime soon. And I, again, we talked about this before we started. I jokingly apologize to Tanner. These are my opinions. That has nothing to do with whether or not it's a good film, but this is a movie I really hoped I was going to like. I really thought I was going to like, and I recognized pretty early on, Tanner really likes this movie because it's about history, which is like his favorite thing to talk about, and it's Mel Brooks. It's like it's a double combo. I just did not see in it what he saw in it and what I assume others have seen in it. So that's where I had to land on that.
Not me. I agree with you. That's one I think you and I can agree on. I didn't think it was a terrible film. It didn't make my worst 5. I'll say that. But it was absolutely, like, I remember after watching it, because we had just watched, was it Blazing Saddles the week before?
Yes.
Oh.
Yep. Yeah. Literally one of our favorite films of all time. Yeah. And then backing into this was
talking about tanking.
It's a rough combo.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, again, the rest of that month, it wasn't just Blazing Saddles. After History of the World Part 1 was Spaceballs, which is my personal favorite Mel Brooks movie, and then Robin Hood Men in Tights, which is again another like fan favorite among our group. So that was the low point.
It was a bad month for the world and the history of it.
Yeah. Yep.
But that wasn't the most disappointing film for me this year. The most disappointing film for me, and this is just a personal pick, was When Evil Lurks. I watched this the first time years ago when it came out, and I absolutely loved it. I remember messaging Bob and saying, this is one of the best horror films I've ever seen. It's so brutal, and it's unflinching. It's not one of those horror movies where people make wisecracks and wink at each other, and there's no stupid teenagers getting killed, et cetera, et cetera. And I was so excited to show it to everybody. So whenever it came time to do Shannon's employee picks, the staff picks in October for Halloween, I put it on the list because I thought this is going to be the most brutal horror film Hunter's probably ever watched. And I think I must have had that Zach moment with Strange Wilderness where I saw it and went, oh no, I have to stop this. And I almost did, and I almost suggested a different film. I don't remember what it was now, but I almost suggested a different film, and I was like, no, I'm gonna stick to my guns and we'll see what everyone else thinks. And everyone pretty much came out the same way. There are parts that are good, but what a boring film. And I agreed. So When Evil Lurks it's not the worst movie of the year, but that's not what this category is. To me, it was just the most disappointing.
Yep. Yeah, it was on my list of potential honorable mentions, if only because of how much it was hyped for me. But admittedly, like you said, before we actually got to it, you were like, temper your expectations. I'm not sure that this is...
It might not have been the classic because I told you it was.
Yeah. I'll be honest with you, and it's not my choice. It's not even my honorable mention. I almost put Almost Heroes in here because I wanted to love Almost Heroes so much, and I didn't. But in the aftermath, like, I have come to agree with you that we talked about this during the show. Almost Heroes is best enjoyed when quoting it and joking about it with your friends.
Yeah,
it's less about the movie itself. It's more about the bits. Yes.
Yeah,
and we have gone so heavy on, if nothing else, the Eagle bit.
The Chris Farley Eagle bit. I'll save it because it actually did make one of my lists, so I won't say anything yet. Yeah.
But anyway, my actual most disappointing film of the year is The Fantastic Mr. Fox. Speaking of quotable bits, we joke about the, you cussing with me bit. That is literally the only thing I liked about this movie. So, I just was so disappointed.
I agree with you. I liked it more than you did, but I think the difference between this and an Almost Heroes situation is Almost Heroes is fun. Even when it's not a good film, it's a fun movie and you can laugh with it. Yeah. And you get that everyone's having fun making it. I did not get that from The Fantastic Mr. Fox. It is so uppity and so self-loving, and Wes Anderson, brilliant filmmaker, but like it's so smart and slick that it ends up almost being not insulting, but you kind of just want to go, okay, calm it down, boys.
Yeah. Well, and that was the other thing was, so with Almost Heroes, I knew going into it, other than what you guys had told me that you guys liked it, but that, I knew that it didn't review well, that it wasn't exactly beloved, etc. So I didn't have a big expectation going into it. And when it turned out I didn't like it much, I wasn't like, oh man, what a shock. I was just sort of like, all right, well, I fall in line with the crowd on that one then in general. But Wes Anderson is hailed as this just magnificent filmmaker, and I'm not saying he's not. This is the only Wes Anderson film I've seen. Again, I said that numerous times when we did the review. Maybe this wasn't the right place to start. I don't know.
It's not his best film. No,
like you said, it's just so the phrase I use often, and I know it's not particularly couth, is up its own ass.
Yes,
and that's exactly what it felt.
That's why
like
I said pretentious, because I knew you were going to say up its own ass.
Yes, yes, yeah. Pretentious is the proper term for it. It's just not. Oh man, I just didn't care for it. The whole time I'm watching it, I'm going, everyone here is like smirking while they're saying their lines. Yeah. The animated characters are doing so. Like, it looks beautiful. It's incredibly well shot, and the attention to detail is great. Don't get me wrong. And it has Wes Anderson may not be for me if this is indicative of the rest of his work.
It has one great joke that we quote constantly, and a few jokes that are, do make you smirk, but
they're fine.
Yeah. But I 100% agree with you. But let's move past the bad stuff. Let's get to some good stuff. Our biggest surprise film. Now, these are films that we went into either maybe we had seen it before and we didn't like it much and we like it more now, or we've never seen it and we were just pleasantly surprised by how good it was. Again, not that it's the best movie of the year, but just that you were pleasantly surprised and you were like, well, I liked that. And I'll start off here, and you probably won't be surprised by my first pick. It is Dead Poets Society.
Yep.
Hunter and I, for all the people that go, man, you and Hunter are a lot alike. You guys are like fucking best friends and brothers and all that stuff. We're also very different in a lot of ways. Hunter is a big fan of drama, and I'm a big fan of horror. Like we do have our differences in films. So he was very excited about Dead Poet Society. I was not. I was dragging my feet on it because I thought, man, this is a bunch of stuffy old white dudes doing stuffy old white dude stuff in like the 50s. I don't see how this is going to appeal to me. And almost from the beginning, I was hooked. And by the end of it, I was teary-eyed. And I thought, well, this is a fantastic movie. Yeah. This really is a fantastic movie, and one that everyone should go see. So I was incredibly surprised and pleasantly surprised by Dead Poet Society.
Yeah,
I can't say too much else about it because there's other stuff that I want to talk about later.
Well, and like you said, this was, for me, this was not a surprising movie, which is why it would not have made my list here. But yeah, I also loved it. And like you said, we'll probably talk more about it later.
We're going to come back to it.
My surprise honorable mention is going to be Warcraft, actually. I had a few options here, and I'm going to land on Warcraft. I like Warcraft a lot. And I said, it's like Zach's here.
Don't summon him.
And I said this as much when we watched the film, or when we talked about it, that I wasn't like shocked that I loved this movie or that I liked this movie, but I was pleasantly surprised because all the context I had for it going into it was you guys telling me how much you liked it, and of course you loved it because you guys are massive Warcraft fans,
right?
And so my expectation was, well, then there's a distinct possibility that I'm not going to love this. I'm not going to know what's going on. And there were definitely times where I went, what the hell is going on? But the movie overall does a pretty good job of explaining itself. It's a lot of high fantasy fun. It's not a brand new story, but it's also not a retread of everything you've ever seen. It looks incredible by comparison to a lot of other movies made from that era.
Absolutely.
And I said before, by the time it was over, my wife and I both were like, I would watch that again. You know, I don't know that much about it or what's going on and the lore and everything, but I would absolutely give this another shot and get into it. And it's a shame there won't be more of it seems like. So,
well, the rumor is actually they are working on a new one, but it's not a sequel. That's going to be just a different story. More than likely, it'll be the Arthas Lich King story. Which, when it came out, because this movie didn't do great in America, but it did gangbusters overseas. Apparently, made a ton of money. Yeah. So, thank you, China. Something America says a lot these days, and not the show. I remember being upset that they didn't go with the Arthas storyline because that's my favorite story in Warcraft. But if they had just thrown you right into the middle of Arthas Menethil and the burning Legion, you would have gone. It's that Simpsons. You would have looked at me and said, "Midge, help me out here. What the hell's going on?" So it's good that they started at the beginning when the orcs first invaded. I'm surprised you were surprised, but I really thought you weren't going to like it. I was pleasantly surprised that you did.
Yeah. Yeah, and it was surprising enough to me that I thought it earned a spot here. I did have another couple options as honorable mentions, but True Lies was one of them. And frankly, by the time we got there, I wasn't terribly surprised that I liked True Lies. From what I gathered from it, it was something I was going to enjoy. My other potential was It's a Wonderful Life. But again, my dad has been telling me for years that It's a Wonderful Life was an incredible movie. So I can't really say I was surprised. I was maybe a little surprised at how much I liked it, but not that I liked it in general.
Well, my biggest surprise film is It's a Wonderful Life. It is. Yeah. Talk about surprise that I liked a movie. Boy, when you told me we were watching It's a Wonderful Life, I remember literally almost doubling over in pain and being like, oh God, no.
Why?
I have avoided this movie my entire life because it is old, it is incredibly upbeat and Christmas and all that. Yep. I've seen the clip in a million films. It's in Gremlins. You know, they have a clip from it in Gremlins. Yeah. So I've always seen the clips and I knew the basic story. It's every movie, basically, every Christmas movie.
Yeah.
And so I sat down to watch it, and I told you this story. I had my ally out. I was messing with my ally for about the first 10 minutes. By 15 minutes, I had put it down and said, okay, what's going on? And then by the end of the film, once again, blurry-eyed mess because it was such it was such a good movie and incredibly heartwarming, darker than I thought it was going to be. And I was just incredibly surprised by how much I also liked it. Will I watch it again? I won't go out of my way to watch it, but if it's on and Lindsay says, hey, let's watch this, I'll say absolutely. You know, it's a great film. Really quick, before you go to your top one, did you hear about the Amazon version?
I heard that the colorization version is bad. I know that.
No, Amazon put up a new version called the abridged version. Now, I've not watched it, but people are mad because
why?
They cut an entire segment out. So it's cut from when Clarence saves him and tells him he needs to get his wings. It then cuts to him running through the town yelling, "Merry Christmas!" and all that. They cut out the entire part.
What?
Yeah, they cut the entire part out where he goes to the alternate version of the world that exists without him. Why would you cut that?
Why?
That's the
like
point of the movie. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That makes no sense. Who is clamoring for this? Who were the ad wizards who came up with this one?
Some jackass, I'm sure, probably thought TikTok generation can't pay attention, so we'll make it super short, but we'll cut out the most important part of the film. Stupid.
That's ridiculous.
I think that's underestimating the intelligence of people, honestly. And I get it, but still.
Yeah,
But that is my biggest surprise film, and by a landslide. Like Dead Poet Society, I could have thought, okay, I might like this because it is a historical drama, and I like a lot of the actors in it. But there was no part of me that thought I would like It's a Wonderful Life, and I ended up loving it. So that's mine.
Yeah. The biggest surprise movie for me this year, and I'm a little surprised that you haven't just guessed it. Although I guess I didn't. You got to give people a chance to guess. I'm just gonna throw a quote at you, and you'll know the second I start.
I already know it.
You bunch of ho dunk, po dunk, well, them there motherfuckers.
Yeah, I was hoping.
All you had to do was get. Oh my god, I love Tales from the Crypt Demon Knight.
Are you agreeing with me?
And again,
no, I'm flipping you off.
What does he say? Viacom. It's not Viacom.
Viacom Diablos.
Viacom Diablos.
Yeah, and Viacom Diablos to you.
Since we watched it. I look. You told me this movie was great. You told me you thought I was going to like it. So in that way, I wasn't surprised. But I didn't grow up on Tales from the Crypt. I had no frame of reference for much of any of this stuff, other than what little clips I've seen here and there, stuff that you've sent me and showed me. This is a movie that I don't want to say I'd never heard of, but like other than through you, never heard of, knew nothing about. It's very good. It's funny. It's gory. It's just a good
great
Halloween
special
flick.
effects.
Great special effects for the time. I also love that I kind of love that it's not an anthology film. I thought going into it was an anthology film, and I was kind of anticipating multiple stories, but this story needed room to breathe.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's exactly 90 minutes, if I remember correctly, or it's right around there anyway. So it's right at that perfect sweet spot of that kind of era's film and that kind of genre film. It's just very good. I think it's probably something that is going to, over the years, fall to the wayside even more and more because Tales from the Crypt is not really as known a commodity as it used to be, and no one's trying to prop it up the way they used to. But it's such a, oh God. I mean, if you like Billy Zane, if you go, yeah, I love Billy Zane in Titanic. You didn't see Billy Zane in Demon Knight. Please go watch Billy Zane in Demon Knight and understand why he's so beloved.
That's like you saying, what was the Arnold movie where like, The Last Action? You're like, yeah, I loved Arnold in that. He's had such a range. But then you watched True Lies and went, never mind. True Lies, True Lies is the good one.
That's the one.
Yeah, I love Tales from the Crypt Demon Knight. It's a shame that the sequels weren't half as good. But if you like the movie, I also recommend watching the show if you can. I've got it on DVD if you ever want to borrow it. You can also look it up on YouTube because a lot of people post HD versions of it. It might be on HBO, but I don't think it is because of the rights issues. That's why M. Night Shyamalan couldn't reboot it, which is probably for the best. All right. Well, speaking of M. Night Shyamalan, we've talked about good things. Let's dive into the worst of the worst. So we're going to start with our worst actress and their role because I told you I didn't see a lot of movies where I went, oh, that is the worst person in there. Because what was it last year? There was someone last year we were both like, oh, she's terrible. We may have even agreed.
We agreed on worst actor last year, if I remember correctly. No, we agreed on best actress last year. That was Toni Collette,
right?
And it was the same role in Hereditary. No, last year your worst actress was Uma Thurman as Poison Ivy, Batman and Robin.
Yeah.
And then mine was Rosie Perez in The Dead Don't Die, which is such a shame because Rosie Perez is such a good actor.
What's her name?
As Posey Juarez.
God damn it. All right. Well,
I hate it so much.
You mentioned to be your worst actress, and I said, okay, no, it's fine. And that's because my honorable mention, and I won't say much about her specifically. This is one of my cheat codes. It's my only cheat code I'm going to use this year. It's the cast of Mortal Kombat Annihilation. They couldn't find a single goddamn actress in that. There's one actress in that movie, and it's Talisa Soto, and she's given so little to do as Katana that she might as well just be a prop. You know, like it's at 100%. At least in the first movie, she had that fight scene with Liu Kang and et cetera, et cetera. Right. And even though she does stuff in this movie, it's the movie's so bad you don't care. Meanwhile, every other actress, if you can call them that, whether this movie runs the spectrum we were talking about earlier of here is a good actress in a bad role, Talisa Soto, and all the way to here's a terrible actress in a terrible role. And I'll save that for your main one because I agree with you. But Sonya Blade, I mean, you're replacing Bridget Wilson for one. With was it Sandra Hess? I think is her name. I don't remember who it was.
I think so. I definitely remember the
Sandra Hess. Yes.
Because the change was stark.
I always get her and what was her name? Carrie Hoskins mixed up. Carrie Hoskins did the mocap for Sonya Blade in like the games, in the later games.
Right.
But yeah, Sandra Hess does nothing as Sonya Blade. In fact, she exists to be in a small pair of shorts and a shirt that gets covered in mud. It's horrible. The whole cast was just, again, good actor, terrible role, terrible actor, terrible role. But that's my honorable mention because I do have one worse. Hunter.
I'm actually going to flip flop my two since we're talking about this, and it'd be a good time to throw it in. Okay, yeah. I very specifically name dropped Musetta Vander as Sindel for Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
Will die.
But too bad you will die. I mean, look, like you said, there's a lot of bad acting in this movie. She might be the worst. Look, she also doesn't get a lot to work with. I get that, but man, oh man, it's just bad.
What's really crazy about her is, how do you spell her name? Yeah, I found it.
Yeah.
What's really crazy about it is that she actually is a good actress. She's not a bad actress. If you look through her,
I was afraid of.
Yeah, look through her filmography. She's in Wild Wild West. That's not a good example. But she's in Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? I've seen her in quite a few things. Was she in Return of the Living Dead 3? I have to know this for my own sanity. Give me 1 second. She was in Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Please tell me she was in Return of the Living Dead Part 3.
She seems like a fairly prolific actor. Like, she was in a bunch of different things.
Maybe not.
It just, boy, that specific role. And again, I get it. You know, that first movie did so well that why wouldn't you want to sign up for a sequel? Sure. Oh, she's one of the what do you call them? The sirens in
Oh Brother.
Yeah,
that's it. She's a competent actress. When you're given so little, and she was probably told, you know, hey, really emote, and then she acted like, no, really emote, like, woo, and boy, she would.
Yeah, and not to mention that dialogue is not her fault. I mean, we joke about that terrible quote all the time. You know, mother, you're alive, and you will die.
How do you make that good? How do you make that good?
What are you supposed to do with that? Yeah. What are you supposed to do with that? It's so bad. Yeah, that's it. This is more of a worst role than it is worst actress thing. That's why I put it there. But yeah, man, she just it's bad.
I'm glad you said that because my top pick for worst actress is because of the role in the film. This is one of my favorite actresses in the world. I think she's one of the best actresses in the world. And she was given, when they cast her in this role, I literally rolled my eyes and went, are you fucking kidding me? She doesn't embody this character at all. And then I got a little excited because I'm like, okay, well, then maybe it'll make me want to see the movie. And then we did watch the movie and I went, oh, it was just as bad as I thought it was going to be. Do you know what it is? You want to take a guess?
Man, I'm racking my brain here. I'm scrolling back through movies as I'm looking at them, just going, what could it possibly be? But
it's from Video Game Week. Know. Or month. Video Game Month.
It's from Borderlands. It's got to be Borderlands.
Yep, Kate Blanchett. Yeah. Kate Blanchett as Lilith in Borderlands. I'm not a huge Borderlands fan to begin with. I like the games just fine. And the Siren was my character I played in the first one. So, and I love Kate Blanchett. Legitimately one of my favorite actresses. She's fantastic in everything I've ever seen her in. But she is so bored in this movie and trying to cash her paycheck in. And maybe that was how she was told to act it out. But it's a bad performance in a bad role from one of the greatest actors. So...
And it's so wooden, man.
It's
that
so
whole
wooden.
Movie is so wooden. God, it's just... the moment that they started announcing casting, I think Cate Blanchett made people kind of, like you said, squint a little bit and go, well, I don't know about her as that character, but she's a great actor. It's fine. And then they announced Kevin Hart. And I think we all went, oh no.
Yeah.
We're in trouble.
Yeah.
We're in trouble, aren't we?
And we're in danger. What about you, H? What's your least favorite actress role?
So, like I said, I flipped them because I think Mortal Kombat Annihilation, like you said, is a little bit of punching down. It feels a little mean. The movie itself is bad. It's not really their fault. However, and this might be controversial, but I know if my wife is listening behind me, about 15 feet, she's going to agree with me. Ellen Green as Audrey from Little Shop of Horrors.
She almost made my list. She was like 3rd or 4th on my list, which is wild because she originated the role, and everyone always talks about how amazing she is.
Yes, and I honestly think, and I've never seen any, like, I don't even know if they exist, any clips of her on Broadway, but yes, she originated the role on Broadway, and she was very, very good there. It did not translate to the big screen. It did not translate to film. It also didn't hurt that, several months before, well, almost a year, 6 to 8 months before we watched this movie.
Christ, I thought you were going to go 6, 7, and I was going to fucking throw something at you.
So we're between 6 and 8 months before we watched this movie from the show. We saw it off Broadway in New York, and there it was done incredibly. Ellen Green just has this really weird affectation for the voice of Audrey that she just loves. And I don't love her song. I don't think she sounds very good on film. The whole time I'm watching, I'm going, boy, this feels like a betrayal of character. And yet, like you said, what am I supposed to say? She originated the role. Right. How would she not get to play it however the hell she wants to?
Right.
So if that works for her, that's great. But it did not work for me. And that's such a shame, too, because I really did like that movie a lot. I like that story a lot. The stage show, the film, all great, but she is a real low mark of those things.
I would like to watch some footage of her on the Broadway version of it, because I wonder if for any reason they told her to be different in the film versus her Broadway role. Like,
they would have to have. I mean, when you see something on stage and you're at a distance, she has to act to the back of the house.
You got to
be loud. You got to be exaggerated and exuberant. In film, you don't have to do that, and you're playing to multiple cameras. You're sometimes being dubbed over, doing ADR.
Right. Well, it wasn't Bozo. I mean, it was Bozo.
Right.
He wasn't
right. It's not a guy.
It's not some guy.
He did the dub.
Yeah, no, I agree with you though. I agree with you. She almost made my list, but the two I had, I was just a little bit angrier about. So
sure.
Yep. Hey, we're not done though. Let's get to the worst actor and role. And I just realized that I basically picked the same 2 movies in the same 2 slots. Oh God. My honorable mention is Brian Thompson as Shao Kahn. Oh my God.
Oh man.
And it will be glorious. I like Brian Thompson. He's in some really good stuff. He was in the X-Files. Of course, he played the Arnold kind of silent killer role, but he's been in things that I've really liked him in. I think he's a fine actor. He's a likable actor. And then you see this film and he looks the part until he takes the helmet off and he's got, he looks weird, but his acting is so over the top. And in a film called Mortal Kombat Annihilation, it was somehow worse than everything else. The only thing, and I can't blame him for this. Well, I could kind of blame him for this. The only thing worse than his acting in the film is when he turns into the 3-headed Hydra or whatever. And I was going to say, because
weird.
The special effects are bad. That's not his fault. But then I remember you can't see this at home, but go watch the film. Hunter, you can see this. He has to make that face at first, like, it's almost Chris Farley, except not funny. And then he morphs into the creature. It's just bad. Like, it's laughably bad.
It's really strange.
I wanted to put something from Mario on there, like actor-wise, but I couldn't because they're so good at as actors that they at least made it kind of competent.
Yeah,
but Brian Thompson.
That's the situation where the movie, the actors overcome the movie in Mario. But man, they're fighting every step of the way.
Well, they were drunk.
They couldn't do it.
They were drunk. That's how they did it. Yeah, we said this, and we mean it. Go back and listen to that episode, obviously. But if you've never heard the story behind it, look it up. Yeah. The story behind Mario, the movie, is better 1,000,000 times than the movie. So
it's one of my favorite episodes we've done too. We had a lot of fun talking about the Super Mario movie. It's so bad.
I will still say this. If we ever gave an award out for the best moment on the show ever, just really quick, because it's the end of the year, let's have fun with it. Fuck, are we on the network? Out of the entire history of this show, what's your favorite moment?
Oh God, that's you put me on the spot.
Let me tell you
We
mine,
talked
you
about
might
Dog
agree.
Soldiers earlier.
Yes.
One of my favorite bits with Dog Soldiers
Yes.
was
That's it.
when me and Cash showed
That's
up
it.
and like it was the three-way Mexican standoff. The like
Spider-Man.
who's gonna admit at first that we didn't like it,
Yeah.
and then as soon as one, I wish I could remember who said it first. But we were like, this was kind of bad, wasn't it? And the floodgates just opened.
I think it was me, because if I remember correctly, I introduced the show and then I said something like, and I wish it were better. And you went, yep. And then Kaz went, yeah. And we all started laughing because completely unrehearsed. Every single one of us went into that movie loving it and came out hating it. And I was, it's the best moment we've ever had the show. Okay, Hunter, who's your honorable mention?
Before I get into it, I need you to know that I propped it in the text only for babies. Sarah sent me a text from behind me that's just a gif of Ellen Green as Audrey, and then that little frog that's grossed out where he's just gagging. So this is our go-to meme between each other. We'll send that little frog where he's like gagging when there's something we don't like, and it just sounds like this.
Oh,
that's the sound he makes.
Tell her she almost killed me.
No, I will.
Yeah.
But
first, who almost killed you with their performance?
My honorable mention for worst actor is Scott Adkins as Killa Harkin in John Wick Chapter 4.
Hey, Steven, John Wick's first appearance on the show.
Oh boy! Famously, by the end of June Wick, I was fucking wicked out.
Yeah, you were tired.
I was
exhausted,
man. I didn't love the first one, and it never really got better from there for me. In the aftermath of the whole month, I admitted, man, that first one's actually not that bad. You know, all things considered, I could go back and watch the first one again. But boy, everything after that did not hit for me. And one of the lowest moments of that whole series is, fat suit Scott Adkins as this weird, Russian gangster,
Russian or German,
playing poker in a wind turbine with I don't know,
in a club.
It sounds like a fever dream. Yeah, it sounds like a fever. And then he falls like 2 stories and keeps fighting or something. I don't remember.
It's kind of the Cate Blanchett thing. Scott Adkins is like legitimately good. He's a great martial artist. He's a fun actor, and I like that movie way more. I like that series more than you did. I think the first one did not make my top 5 list, but it would probably be in my top 10. I really love the first John Wick. But I think I enjoyed the camp of it and the stupidity of it more than anyone else did. Yeah. So he didn't upset me as much, because at that point I was going, oh, okay, this is a video game while I'm high. That's what this is. This isn't a film. Yeah. This isn't a movie to be criticized. This is a dream sequence to be analyzed.
Right.
And yeah, he was so fucking weird. It was it was bizarre, man. And I just, that was what I latched onto with that movie. Every time we talked about it, I just kept going back to who the fuck was the guy in the fat suit and why is any of this happening? The way he giggled, I mean, but he's memorable. See, that's the thing, is that character is memorable, just not for the reasons you want a character to be.
No,
anyway. Exactly. But my least favorite actor and my least favorite role is this is a personal preference, because he's a good actor. I like him, but I hate this role so fucking much. You could have put goddamn Laurence Olivier in the role and I still would have said it was the worst. It's Jack Black as Claptrap from Borderlands.
Oh man,
I hate I hate Claptrap in Borderlands. I always have. He does not make me laugh. He does not entertain me. So then you get Jack Black, who is legitimately funny. I loved him on Mr. Show. I love a lot of his films. But he's so over the top as a character who's already over the top. So now you're over the double tops. And it's so annoying that I could not stand it. Like I was so angry at him. I hate that fucking role. Okay, I'm done talking about Borderlands. It didn't make any. Well, it made one more list, but we'll talk about it later.
If I'm being honest, I am shocked that it was not Judd Nelson as John Bender. I just assumed that John Bender was going to, because he was mostly the reason you didn't like Breakfast Club. So
he was, but the difference is, I think Judd Nelson's a good actor. And he was really good in that role. I just hated that role.
You just don't like the role. Fair enough. Yeah,
whereas
that's fair.
Brian Thompson was the same way, but he's a worse actor. And Claptrap is just because I genuinely hate that character. Like, I hate that character probably more than any video game character in video games. I don't understand the appeal. He's so annoying, and I get he's supposed to be annoying, but you have to have a level of annoying you don't cross to where you become actually annoying. Then it goes from having heat to having X-Pac heat. and you don't want that.
Yeah.
And that's what Claptrap had. Claptrap has X-Pac heat with me. Anyway.
And the character is supposed to in the games, and that's funny. It's less funny when it's a film and you're passively having to watch it.
Yeah, when he's shitting out all the bolts or whatever, and I'm like, oh, ha, ha, ha.
Yeah.
What's the joke? Is
that the joke?
Because I didn't ask for that. What about you? Who made the top of your worst?
Oh, look, this is not going to be a surprise when you hear it. It's Peter fucking Dante in Strange Wilderness as Danny Gutierrez. I can't stand this motherfucker. I hate this actor, and I hate this role even more. We didn't like the movie either. Don't get me wrong. Sorry, Zach. But this particular character is so annoying.
Yes.
I've never, I was going to say I've never understood why he was in movies. I understand exactly why he's in movies. And he, to me, is the epitome of why you should be mad at Adam Sandler just casting his friends in films.
Yes. Yes.
I have my issues with, I go back and forth on Adam Sandler. There's a lot of good that Adam Sandler has done. There's a lot of things I like about him. There's a lot of funny shit he's done. I think he seems to be a great dude. Like, he seems to be a good person.
Yeah.
But man, and I don't begrudge him for putting his friends in films either. I mean, when you're as successful as he is and you have the ability to prop your friends up, great. Let's be a little pickier. Why do you think a little pickier?
Why do you think this podcast is me and Hunter and then people like Steven and Jesse and them? It's because we want to prop our friends up,
We gotta prop them up. We gotta
prop them up, even if they decline to come onto the show.
The real shame of this particular guy is that even though it's a stupid bit, the bit he plays in Grandma's Boy is very funny to me. Matt says that I used to quote that, dude, I'm way too big to drive to the devil's house, mad at each other all the time. And then the just drive, monkey drive, little monkey drive. It's so stupid, but at least it's funny. In this movie, he's never funny to me. He's just an asshole. His voice is annoying. He's not playing a character. It's just a dude who just looks and talks like that. He's just Peter Dante.
He's himself all the time. Right. Yeah. And there are certain actors that can get away with that. Yeah, he's not one of them.
Not everybody can do that.
Well, Zach, at least that's the last time Strange Wilderness will probably end up on the show. Let's move on to our I'm lying to him to make him feel better. Let's move on to our favorite actress and role, and this is my one get out of jail free card for the show. This is the one you can't be mad at me for. This is a very personal pick. It's Emmy Rossum as Christine Daae in Phantom of the Opera. You can't hate me for this. This is my honorable mention.
Okay.
I never cared about Phantom of the Opera. Even as the horror version of it, I never cared about it. But when Lindsay showed it to me for the first time, she talked me into watching it. And I remember being so in love with not Emmy Rossum, but just the character of Christine Daae and her performance as it. I had never seen the Broadway version. And that's important because this was my first Phantom of the Opera. You know what I mean? I'm sure if I had seen the Broadway version first, like Lindsay did, I probably would have been more like, I don't like this. Because a lot of people do feel that way about her in that film and other people in that movie. But this was the one that I had seen the first time, and it's the one I fell in love with. And there are parts in the film. One, I think she's a great singer. The actress herself is incredibly charming and wonderful. She's great and Shameless. She was the only good part about Dragon Ball. Yes, I did watch it. I loved her singing in this. I thought she was clearly beautiful. She existed in this dreamlike state through almost the entire film because of how traumatized she was. And there are certain parts in the film that I absolutely love. The end part where she yells at the Phantom about how, I gave you my mind blindly. It's good stuff. I thought she did a great job in this film. So, but I know that's probably going to be an unpopular opinion with a lot of people listening. But that's just my opinion. I loved her in that role. That's all I'll say. That's my pick.
Well, importantly, and I think we talked about this last year too, this category is favorite actress and role, not
best,
and favorite actor too, not best. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The other one is worst. This is favorite because that would be a very different story. My honorable mention for favorite actress is Kirsten Dunst as Claudia in Interview with the Vampire. Look,
very good. Put her on the map.
Right. I was going to say, it's not just that it's a great movie. It's a really impressive performance. How many times do we say that child actors are just annoying? There's so many times that you go, they're either
in December.
Right. I mean, geez, more than once, as a matter of fact. And they're absolutely impressive child actors too. Don't get me wrong. This is the epitome of this is the benchmark. Kirsten Dunst as Claudia in Interview with the Vampire is literally the bar. Yeah. If you can do that or do better than that, great. Then you've made it. If 100%. Not, step your game up.
100%.
And she's, like you said, it put her on the map. I mean, it's a well written role. Don't get me wrong. That has a lot to do with it, but beyond that, it's also just an incredible performance. So
yeah. I think I like that movie more than anybody else. And when we talked about it, we all mentioned specifically how amazing she is and continue to be amazing to this day. So I love Kirsten Dunst. This is best Mary Jane. She'd still be Mary Jane. Well, it's not Mary Jane now. It's MJ. Ugh, not my Spider-Man.
Drunk uncle. 2026 is the year Shannon becomes drunk uncle, for the record.
But I'm giving up alcohol.
I don't know that we've mentioned this. It doesn't matter. I don't know that we've mentioned this on the show, but privately, or at least when we're on Xbox and stuff, there have been a couple of times that he says something and I go, "It's drunk uncle." I thought you were morphing into Dennis Reynolds at one point. The longer it goes, the more I think it's drunk uncle.
I think Dennis Reynolds will also morph into drunk uncle eventually. So,
not my Spider-Man.
My favorite actress in 2025, this probably won't come as a surprise, and wait for the favorite actor too, because it's kind of a combo deal. It's Nicole Kidman as Satine in Moulin Rouge. I love Nicole Kidman, and she is so good in this movie. She's funny, she's tragic. I love a good tragic character. We all do.
Sure.
She's beautiful and sexy, and I'm not just saying that because, you know, I'm a man. It's important for the role. You have to believe that she is this desirable object, and she pulls it off so well. It's almost like a Toni Collette in Hereditary for me, where this performance was so good. I was looking through the movies over and over again, and I thought to myself, it's not even a contest for me. Like, it's not even a contest. Nicole Kidman as Satine, Satine is just hands down the best performance I saw this year.
Yeah. You went 2 musicals for favorite actress. Interesting.
I'm not done.
All the way back to February.
I'm not done.
It kind of makes me feel bad that we're dropping musicals this year. We were going to do Alien versus Predator stuff in February, but we can.
No.
We can do that elsewhere.
No. Okay, good. Because it's my turn. Let me bring the music of the xenomorph variety. You know.
My favorite actress this year, you gotta go all the way back to January for this one. And that's Ava Green as Vesper Lynd.
Oh yeah.
As quote unquote
I got a button for that.
Go, it was one of the first times that I felt like they really put some respect on the female character. And again, we got to see the gamut of that, going all the way back to Sean Connery,
where they were props.
Full on prop characters, exactly. To not only is she, you know, basically matching Bond's energy and keeping him under wraps by Casino Royale, but also turns out to be villainous in a way. And that's like, it's a good twist. It's a twist that makes sense. She's trying to protect someone that she loves, and she's a turncoat in a way where she gets to him. The scene with her breaking down in the shower, and then the scene with her at his side in the wheelchair, both, it blows my mind that Ava Green is not in more things now. And I don't know, maybe she is. Maybe she's one of those people who just kind of backed off the big Hollywood machine or whatever.
Well, she was a foreign actress originally, wasn't she?
Yes, yeah, I think she's doing a lot
French,
of international stuff now, or was there for a while. Yeah.
The scenes with her and Bond when he's gambling and when they're first kind of getting to know each other were some of my favorite scenes in the movie. You know, because their chemistry together was off the charts. I think that's the most chemistry I've seen between a Bond actor and female actress. Sorry, actress. I remember. And we did see the gambit because they were just props in the first movie, and then once you got to, you know, Roger Moore, they were more competent but still, you know, sex dolls. Once you got to Timothy Dalton, they were a little bit more, you know, involved and intelligent. Pierce Brosnan, they started to become heroines in their own right, but still still had that gross, well, I'm James Bond, therefore you will sleep with me feel to it.
Yes. Yeah.
But by the time Daniel Craig comes around, they mastered it. And they didn't get it right in any of the other movies, but they weren't nearly as bad as the old ones. Well, by the end of that film, by the time they get together, you truly believe that he's in love with her. That it's not just a fling, he's not just using her. Right.
I mean, literally when they're in, I think they're in Venice. I forget where it is where that last sequence takes place. But I mean, he's ready to leave the agency for her. She's ready to leave her life behind for him, and it's only when she gets the call that she has to drop it. So yeah, by then I feel like they finally had mastered a level of this woman is not just on his level; she's above his level, and she's playing him, which is impressive. Yeah, absolutely. I liked it a lot.
Absolutely. And I think if you like that, was it George Lazenby? I think you're going to like the George Lazenby film because it also has a heavy emphasis on love. And again, Eva Green's character in the film, tragic character. I love tragic characters. You know, if you can make me the reason you don't always see as much horror on my list is because horror is an easy genre for the most part, and it doesn't always evoke a big emotion. It's an enjoyable film. But if you can evoke an emotion out of me and make me cry or genuinely laugh, then you've got me. And she got me in that movie. And tragic characters get me. Well, my honorable... wait, what are we on?
You're favorite actor.
Yes,
honorable
thank you.
Mention, favorite actor.
Honorable mention, favorite actor. And I actually have an honorable mention because there's no way I could put him above anyone else, but I wanted to mention it for the same reasons I mentioned Emmy Rossum as Christine Daae. It's Gerard Butler as the Phantom. Again, I know it's not everybody's cup of tea, but until I don't remember the guy's name, but he's the one that did the anniversary edition at the Royal Albert Hall in England. Until I saw him perform as the Phantom, I only knew Gerard Butler, and then once I got into Gerard Butler, I went back and listened to all the rest of them. And the other actors that played the Phantom are fantastic, but none of them were similar to Gerard Butler's performance, with the gravelly voice, with the absolute, movie star good looks on one side of his face. I love him. I still love him in this film, and I fight everybody, including Hunter, when we did the show. I really liked his performance, but I couldn't, in good conscience, put him above the next two. So I do want to mention that, though. And I'm going to keep talking before you have a chance to rebut me, because you don't have enough money to rebut me. My honorable mention is, this is a big one for me. Write this one down, everybody. I'm eating crow on this actor. It's Robin Williams as John Keating. I've never been a huge Robin Williams fan. We've talked about that before. I know you guys like him a lot, and I don't hate him, but I just never saw the broad appeal. I thought he was good, but I never understood why he was so good. And then we watched this year, and I think I even said it on the show. It's that Frank moment from It's Always Sunny. I get it. When Robin Williams, even though I'm not a huge fan of his comedy, maybe one of the most endearing drama actors I've ever seen. Every time I've seen him in a dramatic role, he is just incredible. And this is my favorite of that. He is so soft-spoken and charming and strong as Keating. There's no question why these students follow him and would basically take a bullet for him. You have to convince me in roles like that they're doing it because you feel like they would, and not just because the script says so. And that's a testament to both the writing and the acting of Robin Williams in this film. I love that movie, and I love him most out of it. When he reads the quote at the beginning of the film about, he's showing everybody the people that had died, that captivated me like I don't think anything else did this year.
Yeah, it is an incredible bit. It's when he first does the Whitman quote and the "Oh me, oh life" bit, the powerful play that goes on and on. You may contribute a verse. Let me just continue on. My honorable mention is Robin Williams as John Keating in Dead Poets Society. This is another one where I was flipping back and forth between my honorable mention and my main choice, and I think I'm just gonna, just for the symmetry, I love to put this together. Yeah, boy, you talk about that opening sequence, and I told you when we watched this, it's hard to even think about it or talk about it without it getting to me. The sequence where he's trying to pull that poem out of
God,
David's character.
Best scene of the
he's
year.
just trying to stay with that blanket. Tell me more about that blanket. The end when they're just applauding him and he just leans into him and says, "Don't you forget this." Is just It wrecks me, man. Like you said, that movie was a bit of a surprise to me, but I had been told so many times how good it was. I wasn't surprised that I liked it. I was surprised at how much I liked it and how much I liked him in that specific role.
Make a note of this because I'm going to be too sleepy to remember it. I think for next year, we should add a best scene and worst scene. Yeah. Because I would love to talk about a specific scene like that, because to me that is that was the best scene I've seen all year in any film, hands down. You want to know why that movie's so great and why Robin Williams was such a good actor? It's incredible. Oh, it just rips your heart out, Mortal Kombat style. Well, now we're up to our favorite actor. Which actor took home the top prize for me? I said it's a combo deal. It was again easy. It's Ewan McGregor as Christian in Moulin Rouge. You're gonna see a big pattern with me in Moulin Rouge, but I'll wait for later. If his performance wasn't as good as Nicole Kidman's, then Nicole Kidman's performance wouldn't have been good. You had to have two incredible actors play off of each other in a believable way, and this movie and these two actors absolutely nailed it. I said the Robin Williams scene was my favorite scene of the year, and I stand by that. I truly believe it is. But if I had to pick a second one, it would be the song, the Elephant Love Medley from Moulin Rouge, where they sing together.
Yeah.
It's incredible. It's awe-inspiring. Really, I don't want to say too much because I want to save a lot of this for later, but I saw that independently of anyone. I think I introduced Lindsay to it, actually, and I remember the first time I watched that movie, I fell in love with it. I did theater in college, as we all did, I'm pretty sure. And in my first playbill, it was for Little Shop of Horrors, actually. We all had a little quote, and my quote was, "The greatest thing you'll ever learn is just to love and be loved in return." And this girl came up to me after the performance, and she was like, "Hey, do you like Moulin Rouge?" And I'm like, "I love Moulin Rouge." She's like, "Oh my God, I do." I knew that quote was from it. It was exciting. This movie hooked me from the beginning, and Ewan McGregor he's so good in everything, but especially this. He just that wide-eyed, because he's new to this bohemian lifestyle. He's out on his own for the first time. He falls in love with a courtesan, for Christ's sake. To see him go from that to what happens at the end, because everyone sees it and it's so funny and quirky, and they forget the fact that it has a dick kick of an ending. His final lines just stick with me forever. I'll tear up if I say him, so I'm not going to. But he's just so fucking good. That's my pick. And I know the more out of my mind I get, the more I just keep talking and then go, "Okay, Hunter, now you." And I'm sorry. Fine. I'd love to include you.
That's fine.
Okay, good.
and I'd love to be included. This is maybe the first time I'm using cheat code phrase. The cheat code. This is my cheat code.
Yeah, I'll get one.
Yeah, partly because this movie came out this year, and I typically try to include stuff that's not something that was in theaters that we've watched previously. But again, it was the first time I've seen this. By the time we did it for the show, it was the second time or third. I can't remember how many at this point in time. But he's pulling double duty, and it's so impressive. My favorite actor of the year is Michael B. Jordan as Smoke and Stack in Sinners. Yeah. Holy shit.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole movie, and again, I don't want to talk too much about it now because it's coming up later for sure. Not a big surprise there. But man, he's so good. He's so good in this movie. And Michael B. Jordan is great in everything I've ever seen him in, because I've not seen that horrible Fantastic Four movie.
Good choice.
He's that much better in this. And again, playing a dual role, which is not easy, no matter how good the special effects are.
Right.
Just a ton of fun to watch. He fully sells the environment, fully sells the movement of the moment, like being two completely different people.
The way they talk, the way they move is so unique, to each other.
And again, having to do that with himself, like having to know what his other performance looks like so that when they go back and add it together, it's going to work. That's just, It's incredibly impressive. It's a great film, and he's a great actor in it. I don't think anybody beat him for me this year.
Well, hold on to that thought, because I'm sure it will come back up again later. But we're going to move on. This is the big one. We're about an hour in, so this is accurate. It's time to name our worst and our favorites. The best movies of the year and the worst movies of the year. We're going to start with the worst films. And this is going from least worst to most hated, obviously. My honorable mention, I will say really quick, is Borderlands. I was much kinder than anyone else was on that show, but it's still a bad movie. Like, you can't cut it any way. There's anything that I thought was going to be fun about the movie was not. It just wasn't. Like, even the stuff in the trailer ended up being just terrible. I was like, well, they're saving the good stuff for the film. They didn't. There was no good stuff. So, competently made, but horrible film. But my actual, my fifth worst film of 2025 is A View to a Kill. Boy, as a James Bond fan, and Cody would be feeling this too, because he and I are both big James Bond fans. I had never seen A View to a Kill.
We all are.
I had we had heard. I think Cody may have been the only one that has seen it. I had always heard that it was the worst because Roger Moore was way too old, and I was like, well, I mean, James Bond's a little older. It's not going to be that bad. And then we watched it, and wow, what a terrible film! It's maybe the worst scene in 2025. The dirigible. Yes.
The silent dirigible.
Yes.
That's a great band name, by the way.
Yes,
no one's taking it. Get after it.
The silent dirigible creeps up behind her and he snatches her. Everything about this movie is terrible. The opening,
even the way they incorporate the title into the dialogue.
Oh my!
You get a view to a kill. It's Christopher Walken. How do you fuck up Christopher Walken as a campy villain?
I don't know. This movie was so bad. It has a terrible. It has a terrible Bond girl. It has a great Bond, but far past his prime. It was. I think the best way to describe this movie was embarrassing. If I had an embarrassment of the year, it's this film. This is the 55-year-old guy at the 20 to 30-year-old club trying to pick up a woman. It's embarrassing.
Trying to dance.
Trying to do his little jig, you know. It's that's what this movie was for me, and I'm glad we got to watch much better Bond films. Like, if nothing else, I know some of the Brosnan films aren't great, but none of them are going to be as bad as this, because at least it's still Pierce Brosnan. All right, that's my number 5. What about you and your honorable?
My honorable mention is Super Mario Brothers, and we can talk all we want to about it later. It's not a good movie.
Yes, we can.
But I felt bad putting it in my top 5 because we had so much fun talking about it. It's not good. It's not a good movie. I cannot stress to you enough how much it's not a good movie. But it kind of reminds me of Fateful Findings. Like, no, it wasn't good, but yes, I had fun in the surrounding experience.
Right.
So at the end of the day, it's hard to fault the movie too much. It's not a good movie. I don't recommend it, but I do recommend listening to the show about it and talking with other people about it.
Yes.
But my actual number 5, and this is not a joke, I did not rearrange anything, is A View to a Kill. It's so bad.
It's so bad.
Of all the Bond films we watched, it's so bad. I mean, this is the one that, as I recall, when we talked about it trivia-wise, kind of like screwed up the franchise for a while. It was part of the reason that we didn't get more Bond movies, because this one was so bad. Everyone went, okay, maybe we don't need to see this anymore. Maybe we've done everything we could do with James Bond on the big screen.
It's the fact that this was the second kind of embarrassing one, because they also, I don't know if we ever told you the story, maybe you already knew it, but there was some weird thing with licensing, and they basically made the same Bond movie twice, once with the new Bond and once with an old Sean Connery. And that was also incredibly embarrassing, but I think this is still more embarrassing. Like, this movie is, if you were able to tell somebody, hey, I love James Bond, oh, well, A View to Kill's on, you want to watch it? You would immediately go no, because you don't want to poison them.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, no, it's just really bad.
It's extremely bad.
Could not make it a positive argument for it, and it has to be on the list.
Well, at least with A View to Kill had James Bond, and he's a likable character, and it had some things that we laughed out loud about. My next film is one that I never laughed or smiled or celebrated, other than one thing. There's one thing in this movie that is anywhere redeeming, and it's Legend. It's Legend. I hated Legend. Here's a movie that had... Was it Mia Sara as the girl?
Yeah, I think so. I'm almost positive that's who it was.
I think Mia Sara as the girl. It's Tom Cruise as the guy, one of his first roles at his most... one of his most Link likes. It's directed by... Oh, God, who directed it?
Ridley Scott.
Ridley Scott. It's directed by Ridley Scott. Music by Tangerine Dream.
And don't leave out Tim Curry.
And that's what I was going
to. Fucking Curry's in this movie.
The only redeeming part of this film at all is the makeup job and the performance of Tim Curry as Darkness. The character itself is still weird and kind of stupid, but he is so good at it, and they made him look. I mean, that's generally, like, even to this day, one of the best makeup effects I've ever seen in my life. It was incredible, but the rest of the movie's trash. Like, you think it's this high fantasy adventure if you watch the trailers or if people tell you about it. And even I went, oh, this is kind of like Legend of Zelda. And then by the end of the film, when we reviewed it, I was like, what the fuck was that supposed to be? Like, it's boring.
What happened in that movie?
Nothing
Why was I
makes
supposed
sense.
to be into it?
Right.
Yeah, no. The biggest sin that a high fantasy film can commit is that by the end, you're not invested at all. And that's true for films in general, but high fantasy especially, man. I need to know what the stakes are, what's going on, why I care, and why I want to watch these people do this shit. Because that's the only reason that something like, the high watermark, the bridge mark, and that's Lord of the Rings, for that works, is that you care about the characters, you care about the journey, you understand what's going on, no matter how many new people we introduce, you want to see what their role is in this thing that's happening. I couldn't tell you one fucking thing about Legend by the time it was over.
No.
I was so bored and so disinterested.
Yeah.
I just did not. I can tell you off the top of my head right now, at least some of the things that happened in the last Unicorn more than I remember what happened in Legend.
Yeah,
that's how
agreed.
like forgettable that was. And that's such a shame again for a great slate of actors and for what should have been a really good looking film.
Yeah. Like it was like a super group of talent, and somehow they made the fourth worst film of the year that we reviewed for me. What about you?
Well, I was talking about it so much because my number 4 is Legend.
Oh my god!
This is not a bit.
No, we did not rehearse this.
Yeah, it really was. This was right about where I thought it should go. Don't get me wrong; it was at least a little more interesting than A View to a Kill, but not enough to even remotely keep me invested. By the time we were done talking about Legend, I thought, and the only other time I will talk about this movie is at the end of the year when I roasted on the internet.
That's why you got that restraining order.
Exactly. I had to get re-upped. Yeah, boy. In a month full of Tom Cruise movies, where I loved pretty much everything else, if I remember correctly, if not literally everything else.
This was the low. This is where we started.
This was the low one. Yeah, exactly. Because we did them chronologically. This was the one. We had just not that long ago come off of the Mel Brooks month, and again, where History of the World Part 1 was the one where I went, oh, that one falls short. This was it, and I wanted to love this movie because I had heard so much about it. It falls into that kind of wheelhouse of stuff that I like to a certain degree, and I thought this will be it. This will be the little hidden gem. No, it should have just stayed hidden, and there's nothing gem-like about it.
Unless its name is Jim and it's a pedophile that was murdered in jail, Oh, that's who we're singing about. Okay. Well, I can guarantee you my next one is going to be different from Hunter's because I already know he said he didn't put it on the list. It's Super Mario Brothers. I didn't have the problem but it was fun to talk about. No, because this movie also went into the disappointment era for me because I had seen this when I was a kid and loved it. Had the toys, because I was a huge Mario fan. I still am. And this was, other than the live action TV segments on the cartoon, this was it, man. This was Nintendo stepping into the real world. And I absolutely adored it. And I remember telling everybody growing up, oh, Bob Hoskins is fantastic. And Leguizamo was great as Luigi. And Samantha Mathis, Dennis Hopper, et cetera, et cetera. And then when we watched it, the first 25 minutes, I thought, oh, this is actually really fun. I like seeing them, interact with each other and they're in the real world before they do this. And the moment they're introduced to Princess Daisy, the movie turns into an absolute roller coaster of schlock, boredom, and what the fuck are we doing here? Why is this Mario film a dystopian alternate universe about oppression and slavery and stuff like that, and you go, who is this for? This was supposed to be for kids who played Super Mario Brothers. They're not going to get this, and the reason is because the people that did it were so inept. That's the fun story behind the movie, but the movie is so bad. It's horrible, but it's only outdone by 2 other films for me. But Mario, I love you, baby, but I just can't. Hunter, what about you?
Well, this is where we traded off, and it's still appropriate. It still works because my number 3 was Borderlands. So where your honorable mention was Borderlands, mine was number 3. That's where we traded that and Mario. Boy, as much as I didn't like Mario, and again, all the things you said are 100% accurate about it, Borderlands was just so damn boring.
They should have called it Boredom Lands.
It really, I mean, seriously, it's so fucking boring. I remember that was a day when I was working on some stuff in my game room downstairs that we have set up now, you know, the whole space where I can play repo and all that. And I was putting together a shelf down there, and I thought, oh, man, I need to stop and watch this movie. And I went, no. I'll bring my computer. I'll set it up. I'm sure it would. I know what's going to happen. It's going to hook me, and I'm going to be 2 hours later. The shelf's not going to be done. Not only was the shelf done,
you built a
variety of other things.
Yeah,
because I was just like, I don't need to watch any of what's happening here. You know, and no matter how good it looks, no matter how colorful or action oriented or whatever it is, I don't care about these characters. I don't care about this story. At least with Mario, I wanted to see how much more batshit insane it could get.
And it
with
did.
Borderlands, okay, here's maybe the best description of it. Mario Brothers is a movie that should not be as crazy as it is, but it keeps getting crazier, and it kind of forces you to watch it and go, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah.
Borderlands is a movie that should be batshit insane, and instead you go, when is anything going to happen?
Right.
When is anything in this movie going to happen that I care about?
Yeah.
Because it never does.
It's almost like
just so damn boring.
It's like they should have flopped. Borderlands becomes the insane film where you're just going, what the fuck? And Mario becomes the formulaic, by the numbers, big actors, but it's boring as shit.
Which is what it did.
Do. Right.
That's what it did later. I mean, when they did the animated one years later, that's almost exactly what happened.
Touche. Again, my only saving grace with that one was, as a Mario fan, just it was pretty, and I loved the things they had in there, but the film itself was a nothing burger at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But I would have taken a nothing burger over my next pick, because my runner-up for the worst movie of 2025, Zach, I love you, baby, it's Strange Wilderness.
Look, I'm gonna stop holding back on the bit. My number 2 is also Strange Wilderness.
Yeah, Zach, I'm sorry, but
oh man,
even Zach,
it's so bad.
He had that moment I had where he watched the film before we did, and was like, "Hey, maybe we shouldn't do it, guys." We're like, "No, like, how bad can it be, Zach? The trailer's hilarious." And then we watched it, and the trailer is hilarious.
Yes, the trailer remains hilarious, so much so that when you're watching the movie, you go, "Where is all this shit?
Yeah, when is any of
this going to happen?"
It's Millhouse. I'm like, when are they going to get back to the trailer parts? Because you know, this
bad man.
The parts I liked about this film were so funny. Like, the shark bit is genuinely hilarious. But I think we basically said anytime they're actually interacting with the animals and the movie's just about how dumb they are, it's great. And it really is. But literally every other scene is horrible. Steve Zahn is a great actor, and he's absolutely wasting this film. Adam Sandler's 100%. Other friend, who plays the sidekick in this movie, I thought did a great job. I really did. I thought he was good. But the material they're given is horrible. It's not funny. Other than the little the little animal bits, none of the rest of it's funny at all. They wasted Robert Patrick in an absolutely what the fuck cameo that went nowhere. The movie was like, to me, it really did feel like a fever dream of what the fuck are we doing here, guys?
Yeah, even by the end, when they do the little bit in the station where it just clearly breaks down into an outtake because they can't stop themselves from laughing, it feels like they're laughing at how bad they know this is going to be received.
Yeah.
Like, this is not funny to us or anyone. We're just going to laugh because we know that we're about to be raked over the coals, and that's exactly what happens when it's done. It's just,
and deservedly so
bad, man.
And deservedly so horrible. Well, let's just say what our number 1 is, because it's the same movie.
Yeah, because we
Zach,
picked almost the exact same list.
Yeah, go ahead, you say it.
It's Mortal Kombat.
It's Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
We've already started raking it, and the coals are still hot.
Oh man, of any movie we watched this year, I think this was the one that I at most went, I hate this. I don't want to be here, because it's miserable. You think it might
such a slog.
You think it might be campy and fun because it's the first one was. The first one's a pretty good movie. We all agreed. It's not great, but it's pretty good, man.
No.
This got rid of a majority of the actors. So Christopher Lambert did not come back as Raiden. And they got James Remar, great actor, did horrible.
Yeah.
They didn't bring back Lyndon Ashby as Johnny Cage. They got Chris Conrad.
Nope.
Not a bad actor, but it didn't matter because he died in the first 5 fucking minutes anyway. And then you replaced Bridget Wilson with Sandra Hess. You throw in every possible character you can from the games with little to no explanation. Everything looks like a cheap cosplay. The story is...
Oh, boy, it's bad. Even the special effects. I mean,
the special effects are laughable.
Special effects.
Oh, my God.
Horrible.
The worst special effects I've seen. Yeah.
And people since have said, oh, they were placeholders and the studio forced us to put it out. And I want to believe that, man. But,
right.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, that transformation sequence again may be the most embarrassing thing I've seen this year. It's just you hope with all the characters that are in it, and they really adhere to more of the video game feel. So you have a spark that, well, at least it's going to be fun because I get to see the characters and all that stuff. But most of it takes place in such nondescript areas, you would never know it's from Mortal Kombat. I think my favorite part is that old Sonya Blade and Jax spend, I think, a week in the desert walking, which is just walking, which is just a smash cut, by the way. There's nothing that happens. She just goes, "It's been 7 weeks." And in those 7 weeks, she never told him what was going on. He's still like, "Sonya, when you gonna tell me?" That is some of the worst writing I've ever heard in my life.
So bad.
It's embarrassing. It's
that this thing got a major release, that it was supposed to be the follow-up to something that, like you said, was a bit of a surprise hit.
Yes.
Even if it wasn't a great film, was a pretty good adaptation of what it was, supposed to be.
With a PG-13 budget.
So hard. Right. How do you fumble so hard on a sequel that all you have to do is add more characters,
right,
and do it bigger? That's it.
Yeah.
That's all you have to do.
And they chose to do something else, and what they did was horrible. This is the one, by the way, if you didn't listen to it, this is the one Zach was gonna go like 1 up, 1 down, or 1 down on, and Hunter talked him into changing his rating to 2. He didn't have to convince him. He just spoke.
Right, I didn't look at him and go, "Zach, come on."
Right.
It's just the more I talked, by the time he gave his review, he literally said, "Well, he's talked me into it too."
Yeah, I'm dropping it. That's how it. It's still the only. It's still the most recent Double Down.
Yeah. So and it's not the only Double Down of the year, but it is the most recent one. We have not had anything that bad since. That was all the way back in September.
Yeah, it was absolutely hideous. But that's because we saw a lot of great films this year too, which brings us to our final category, our favorite movies of the year, the best films of the year. And this was extremely hard for me to do. My honorable mention is purely on nostalgia and vibes and good feelings, because my honorable mention is Almost Heroes. Like when I rewatched it, I really love that movie. I know it's not perfect. I know it's not even great, but I love that movie. The opening swells of music, because it's directed by Christopher Guest. He's a great director. The talents there. It's just, they missed the mark in a lot of places, but it's just brought me so much joy watching it again, and I really love it, and it gave us some of our favorite jokes of the year, so can't be too mad at it. But my actual number 5 for top 5 of the films of this year.
Hang on, let me just blow through my honorable mentions, because this is where I usually do classics, and I'm just gonna drop them all at once. Okay. I did this last year, and it felt like the only fair way to do it. Last year, I did 5 honorable mentions to match up against my 5 favorites, and they were exclusively movies I had seen before we did a show about them. I did the same thing this year, because I don't feel right personally putting those in the top 5. So from 5 to 1, and I think this would be the right order. My 5 honorable mentions were Spaceballs, Casino Royale, Clueless, Aladdin, and A Few Good Men. I had seen all those movies before. They're all great. A Few Good Men, one of the best movies we watched this year. But I don't feel right putting it up in the top 5 there as things that I hadn't already seen. So there you go.
Well, hold on, Motor Mouth. I want to do that too.
Almost Heroes. And
no. I can't remember. I can't remember all the new films that I've watched. But if I were to do it just based on films I hadn't watched, because I mix them together, I'm just going to do my top 3 of ones I saw in theater this year. And I can only say the third one right now because the other 2 are in my top 5. So my honorable mention is Predator Badlands. It's a really good movie. If you love Predator, it's fantastic. Not Dakota Fanning. What's the other one? Elle Fanning? Elle Fanning. She's so good in that movie. And Lindsay even loved it. And she's not a Predator fan at all. So yeah. Definitely check that out. But my number 5 is also a film that came out this year, and it's my number 2 if I ranked them in terms of new films I saw in theater. It's The Monkey. I have such an attachment to that film, The Monkey. I don't want to just say The Monkey because that's definitely gonna get clipped.
Show him the monkey.
I had no expectations going into this. The only thing because I don't read. So
You can't watch a book.
I didn't know Stephen King had done this short story, but it was announced a Stephen King short story done by Osgood Perkins, who did Longlegs. And I had never seen Longlegs, but I heard so many good things about it. I went, oh, okay. But then I saw the trailer, and the trailer was so weird that I was not invested. There's literally a line in the trailer where the brother calls the other brother and says, "The monkey that enjoys killing our family is back," or something like that. Thank God that line is not in the movie. That was just for the trailer, thank God. But what you do get in the film is this really, as a horror movie fan and a gore hound, to an extent, the special effects of this movie are top notch. When they pull the uncle out of the sleeping bag and he's just cobbler, is one of the fucking weirdest, grossest scenes I've seen this year. Lindsay made it about 10 minutes to this film before she tapped out and started hiding her eyes. But it's not just blood and gore. It's also kind of a heartfelt film. It's a movie about the acceptance of life and death and taking responsibility, and the fact that, you know, life sucks. Just go dancing. I loved the message, especially because the performance of Tatiana Maslany, is that her name? Maslany.
Maslany.
Yeah.
Yep.
Her performance as the mother is so good, and she's so likable. I really, and Theo Von Good, or I forget what his name is. Theo Von, maybe, I don't know. The guy that plays
I think
he plays the brothers. He's also fantastic. This is a big surprise for me this year, and I thought it was very, very good. So I forgot what you thought it was okay. You were kind of middle-ish, weren't you?
Yeah, I didn't love it. I didn't hate it either, but it was a lot more forgettable for me. Like the things you're going over now, I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot that was the case. I don't know. I don't know that I know how to explain it. You can probably go back and listen to that show and maybe hear me be more eloquent about it. But it was very much it just didn't strike me the way that it struck you. I thought it was shot really well. It looked really good. Oscar Perkins has an interesting visual style. We have since watched Longlegs, and you're doing yourself a favor by not seeing that.
Oh, I've seen it. I've seen it now.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Jesse asked me what I thought, and I told, because Jesse hates it. I told him for me it was very like, it was fine. Like, I didn't hate it. I thought it was fine. But the monkey was much better.
I'm probably in between the two of you there, then, because I didn't hate it either. But boy, I wouldn't say it was fine. I didn't care for it. I was not into it.
Well, what did you care for this year?
My number 5 is, well, this is where we trade off. My number 5 favorite film of this year was The Breakfast Club. Hey. I really did resonate with this film. This was a movie that stuck with me a long time afterward. This was a film that gave me a really emotional moment when I think it's Brian is describing the pressure he felt to be such a good student and all that. You know, it's not just that, but that was a particular moment for me that when it was over, I had that same frank moment of, I get it. And not only I get it, but I lived it. I was there. But I thought the rest of this movie also was just a good encompassment of what that sort of 80s John Hughes culture was. You know, this movie often gets name dropped as the John Hughes movie. And for years and years, for me, that was Home Alone. And, you know, personally, it probably always will be. But The Breakfast Club just has a lot of things that I think are indicative of a particular time, of a particular part of the country, of the world, a particular subset of kids. And it also ends on a note that's not nearly as upbeat as the sort of, you know, memed ending of Bender throwing his fist up to "Don't You Forget About Me" is. You know, there's not all things are great. He's still going home to an abusive home.
Right. There's
Allison
layers.
Sheedy's character has changed, but probably not in a way that's going to stick. Changed to fit in.
She was my favorite in the film, by the way. She almost made my list of favorite actresses. But I hated the ending of, well, we made her normal, so now he likes her. I hated that. Right. But everything else she did was good.
That's what I liked about it, was that it's not a happy ending. It's one of those endings where she kind of falls in line in a way where you go, oh boy, that's bittersweet.
Yeah, because that's not going to last.
No, to me, it's the epitome of what we found in the show on, which was what happens after this. Boy, that relationship lasts about 3 days, and then she and the jock were going to break up, and it's going to be rough.
And she's probably pregnant.
But yeah. And I love, well, and maybe,
that's
and you know, again, originally that movie was conceived as we're going to revisit these characters every 10 years to see what they're up to after they graduate. I just loved the idea that it was this snapshot in time of these specific kinds of kids and the specific kind of world. It's incredibly well written. Again, it's John Hughes, so why wouldn't it be? it wasn't a surprise because, again, it's a classic, but it was something that by the time it was over, I went, how the fuck have I waited this long to see this movie? So
I'm trying to think of what movie is most like this for you that this movie is for me, because I see why people like it, but I didn't like it. Yeah, the Gremlins is the one I'm thinking. It's the one where you just go like, well, everyone says this is amazing. Why is it not resonating with me? You know?
Right. Yep. I think that's probably it.
Maybe we'll do a trade-off next year. Maybe you revisit Gremlins, I'll revisit Breakfast Club, and let's see where we are. Our opinions might not change, but you never know. You never know.
I think that'd be a good, just like a one-off episode. We don't have to both review the film again because I've seen the one and know enough about it. You've seen the other. Just revisit the one that we didn't like and come together and go, all right, where were we wrong, or were we wrong?
Right. Maybe we'll stick to the same script, if you will. All right. Well. Yeah. Great joke. My next pick is, let's revisit it one last time, Dead Poets Society. That's my number 4 for the year.
Let me once again save us some trouble. My number 4 is also Dead Poets Society.
Yeah. The fact that this is number 4 on my list, to me, shows what a great year of films we reviewed. Because this movie is top dog. Let me tell you something. It is something special. Take everything Hunter just said about The Breakfast Club and attach that to me for this film. It is a snapshot of these people at this time. It's fascinating head to toe with great performances. The acting is incredible. It's beautifully shot. It makes you laugh. It makes you cry. The thing with the,
Oh, that monkey's gonna pay.
He was number 5 on my list. He was my last pick.
Right.
but yeah, it's just it's hard to think of a much better film than this one. Zach is in the opening recording room. What did we have him down for?
I see that. I don't know. I don't remember.
Let's just pull him in anyway.
In the course of recording the show, a couple of people have been like, "Hey, I'm ready whenever you need me." Well, it's 10 o'clock. So.
Yeah, we'll just pull Zach over here, though, and then we'll ask him what his favorite movie this year was. We'll ask him one question, and we'll see if he gets it right. But he has time now to think about it, what his favorite movie of this year was. We'll get back to you in a second. So, yeah, Dead Poet Society, absolutely incredible. But that frees me up to talk about my number third. Well, I'll tell you what it is. You'll probably go, yeah, that level of intelligence tracks because it's the Phantom of the Opera. When Lindsay showed this to me years ago and I loved it. I've loved Phantom of the Opera since then, but when it really got me was a couple of years ago. I was living in St. Louis for a couple of months, away from her, away from my house. We were opening a new dispensary up there and I was in charge. I was the right-hand man of the CEO of the company that no longer exists. That tells you how that business is going. But in my hotel room, when we weren't playing video games together, because sometimes I couldn't, it's hotel internet, and it was shitty. Yeah. One night I decided to watch Phantom of the Opera, and I then watched it like every night for probably 2 or 3 weeks straight. I can recite that movie backwards and forwards to you. I'm not saying it's perfect because, I only gave it 1 thumb up on the show, which I kind of regret because my heart said 2, but I was trying to be objective and I think I tried to be too objective. So I'm trying to make up for it now and explaining how much I genuinely liked the film. It wasn't always shot great. There are some things that even looking back on it now, I go, that's a horrible shot. There's some questionable lines. There's some questionable directing, but I still think, in full honesty, if and this is my opinion, this was top 3 for me. It probably always will be. It's one of my favorite movies ever. This is kind of like the tombstone of last year. So Phantom of the Opera, and I know it's not on your list, so I don't have to worry about stealing that one from you. But it's my number 3 for 2025. What about you? Try to cut you off.
I thought you would find it.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I thought you would find it kind that I did not put it on any of my worst or like disappointing or anything like that.
Next year we're gonna have a new segment called most relieved moments of Shannon on the show, and it's when Hunter didn't put those on there. But I don't think you hated Phantom of the Opera nearly as much as like I made the joke out to be.
No. No, I mean, admittedly, look, not that we got to get into it. I didn't like it, and I didn't think it was very good. But by comparison to the other things we've talked about, it's nowhere near as bad as something like A View to a Kill or Borderlands or whatever. No.
Important to note also that, and this was completely accidental, Hunter and I both got tickets to the Phantom of the Opera on the same day at the same time. So we're not sitting together, but we'll be there. And I told
the stage
show
performance at the Fox Theater is coming up in March.
I think this may have been the only time I've ever actually threatened Hunter to someone else, because I said, like, if I go watch this and Hunter fucking tell how terrible it is, I'm gonna sock him in the mouth. This would be the only one.
Well, and importantly, there's apparently enough differences, and I've heard nothing but good stuff about.
There's a lot of differences,
There's enough differences, and you got, and again, I didn't say anything about it earlier, and I won't get into it, but a lot of my problems with the movie performances are the actors.
Right.
I don't care for Emmy Rossum in that role. I don't care for Gerard Butler in that role. So that will probably not be the case when it comes to the stage show. It's a different situation.
My genuine fear with the stage show is that watch it.
Sorry, real quick. It's also the directing. It's
Joel Schumacher.
Joel Schumacher, which I can't wrap my head around why anyone thought that was a good idea, but I won't get into it.
Lost Boys. Legitimately Lost Boys. Like, what's the guy that did it? Andrew Lloyd Webber? He was such a fan of the Lost Boys that he hired him specifically to do the film. And I like Schumacher. I think Schumacher's a good director. Except for Batman and Robin, but that really wasn't even his fault. There was so much corporate pressure of make it for kids, make it this, make it that. We talked about it during the review of that show. Anyway, your number 3.
My number 3 is one I feel like I shouldn't talk about much now because you're going to hear more about it very soon, and it's Moulin Rouge. Moulin Rouge was very good.
Yeah, you know.
I know for sure. Yeah, Moulin Rouge was very good. This was the first time that I had seen the film. We saw the stage performance of this the year prior, so a little over a year ago at the Fox, if I remember correctly at that time. And when it came time to watch it for the show, it was so good there. I was unaware that it had not been a stage show, that it started as a film and then it got adapted for stage. Baz Luhrmann. But man, I mean, God, what a great musical. For somebody to do something like that and go straight to screen with it, that it's not an adaptation of a stage show like Phantom is, or like so many others are, Little Shop of Horrors, et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
To just come straight out of the gate and go, here's this incredible story about this. It's a period piece, first of all, which I think a lot of people don't realize because it uses music that's more modern.
Yeah.
But it's Baz Luhrmann, so the visuals are incredible. The sound is incredible. He hires nothing but the best in terms of actors. John Leguizamo gets a big redemption arc from Super Mario Brothers to this. Although when we watched him, it went the other way. It was this, and then we watched Mario.
Right. And in this film, he was playing Luigi, but if he got hit by an enemy, so he was little Luigi.
Right. He's little Luigi. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a bad joke. Oh, Zach, you got my part from this point on. I'm going to head out. That's the worst joke I think I've made in a while. Oh, Zach, think about your favorite movie this year, because I'm going to come to you at the end.
Jeez.
We'll just move past it because I don't think anyone wants to hear about Moulin Rouge. My number 2.
No, surely not.
My number 2 is, and boy, it was so close. This is my number 1 on new films I've watched this year. And I don't know if Hunter is going to go, let's just do the bit again, but it's Sinners.
No.
Okay, all right. I was thinking, so I'm not going to say much just in case. But what I will say is, I went into this movie knowing as little as possible. I won't talk a lot about it because I want to hand that over to whoever might pick it. I went into this film knowing as little as possible. All I knew is that it had Michael B. Jordan. It was Ryan Coogler, and it looked like it was a horror film, and it was like a period piece. And I love period pieces, and I didn't even know what kind of creature it was because I didn't want to know. I went into this expecting just a good horror movie. And it was an experience of music and visuals and acting, and it was absolutely incredible. And that's all I'll say right now. But it is my number 2 for 2025.
My number 2 for 2025 is Top Gun Maverick.
Oh, you got a need.
I got a real need for speed. What do I do?
I'm dropping bombs on Afghanistan.
and a bird shits on my window. What do I do? This was a movie that actually I had seen prior to this year before we watched it for the show, but that was because the previous year in 2024 we watched the original Top Gun during a blockbuster month for E&E. It was in June, if I remember correctly. And at the time, Top Gun Maverick had been out for a little while. It was streaming. I was enamored pretty heavily with Top Gun. It actually made my list of my favorite films of last year, if I remember correctly. It was number 2. So appropriately enough. Yeah. But as soon as it was over and the second one was already there to stream, I went, I got to see this. I got to see what the second one's all about. Now, Sarah had seen the first one numerous times, but she'd never seen the second. And I was very pleasantly surprised that not only is the second one as good as the original, in my opinion, I think it's actually a little better.
I think it's better.
I think it benefits. Yeah, I think it benefits from the maturity of this franchise. It's not really a franchise. You know, there was one film and a ton of media surrounding it, video games and you know, merchandise and whatever.
Bad ones.
Yes, bad ones. Capitalizing and cashing in on an existing thing. But it was so nice to see, you know, a legacy sequel that really did something interesting with the property. Now, don't get me wrong, at the end of the day, Maverick is still the hero. He still gets to go and do all the things that everyone, you know, wants to see him do. And he still outguns all the people who are now, you know, 20 years younger than him or whatever. Right. But it's done in a way that makes you go, yeah, of course that's how it's happening. Yeah. Of course that's what it is. And he's still flawed, and he's still an idiot at times, and he still screws things up. But it's a heroic redemption story that doesn't make you go, "Oh God, really? Like we're doing this again? This is what's going to happen."
If I were to name this movie A View to a Kill, the A would stand for anti. This is the anti View to a Kill. This is we got there eventually. This is a legacy sequel done years after the fact, and you've still got the older Tom Cruise, because he's like in his late 50s, 60s at this point.
Yeah, he's up there.
He's coming back as the hero. And unlike Roger Moore in A View to a Kill, which was like laughable and, you know, like, are you sure? He nails it as the hero in this. Like, he's still believable as the hotshot pilot, just has got a little bit more wear and tear on him. He's still handsome. He's still charming. It's fucking Tom Cruise. What do you expect?
Right. You know, to give Val Kilmer that little send off in that film too. I know that's just a personal note, but
that's
my God,
beautiful.
it was so nice.
The fact and the fact that Tom Cruise wanted to do it specifically, he wouldn't do it without Val Kilmer, one of the greatest actors of all time. Yeah, it is much better than the original. I truly believe it is. Great effects, great acting, just top to bottom, great movie. And honestly, I kind of forgot about that one a little bit, so I'm glad you mentioned it. All right.
Yeah, I like that movie a lot.
Zach, here we go. We're going to give our number 1 films of the year, and we're going to start with you, the only one that showed up.
Well, to be fair, I did message. And
the only one we wanted to show up.
Well, I'm here, and I have a question. So, since I wasn't on like every episode, are we going by the episodes I was on?
No,
or
any movie.
The films that you guys have done.
Any.
No, the rules.
Any.
I don't have any paper, Shannon. You have a paper nearby? You can crumple those rules up. And,
yeah.
Oh, see the rules there?
Scummy bag. Yeah, it's gone. It's gone.
There it is.
Yeah.
They're out the window.
So, there were any gummies in there.
I wasn't on the episode, but I think out of all the movies, because there's a lot of good movies here that I do enjoy that you guys have covered, and I have graciously been able to join you on. But I think Warcraft.
Oh,
just because I actually was watching that movie the other day. I upgraded it, by the way, so it's in 4K now on Vudu.
I have the physical 4-day collector's edition somewhere, and I've lost the disc. So thank you.
Well, you don't need it now, baby bird. I'll feed you. But no, I think that was I think it's a very well-rounded video game movie for me, not even knowing the actual game because I've never played it. But it's quite enjoyable. So I would
agree.
have to say that one.
I agree, and I'm happy with that choice. That actually did make the list for Hunter's most surprising film.
That's my biggest surprise. Go all the way back to the beginning of the show.
Because that was one of the ones that Shannon gifted me digital, and I was like, I mean, I'll watch it at some point.
Orcs.
And so and then I did watch it at some point, and I was just like, okay, I see you, but it also helped that I had watched Vikings a little bit, and so then
That guy.
you have the main character of
Yeah.
Vikings in there, and I really enjoy like the warlocks and like just everything about it is really cool. Like Jamie saw it in passing, and she's like, "Why are those ones green?" And I was like, "Well, that's some evil magic that has to
That's
take
the
life
fail
to give
magic.
it."
Yeah.
And so I
Man.
was like, "There's a whole thing."
That's so I'm so happy to hear you say that, because there is so much Warcraft lore to dive into that's just as good, if not better. And I hope they do another film. They say they're going to. We were talking about this earlier before you jumped on, because this movie did really well overseas. And so there's definitely interest in Warcraft. I mean, World of Warcraft is still the standard of MMOs. Yeah, I said it. Nerds, fight me. But if they ever adapted the Arthas Menethil story about the Burning Legion and him becoming the Lich King and all that, like that, I seriously think that could be not on the same level of Lord of the Rings. You just can't. It's that goalpost so far away. You know what I mean? It's got lineage,
sure. Yeah.
but I think it really could be like one of the all-time greats that people would talk about, because that story of Arthas is, I love a tragic character. It's so good. But right now the only way to witness it is to play Warcraft 3, and you're not. Okay.
I wouldn't be mad if they did make another movie. I don't even care if it does continue on or if we jump.
Guess what, buddy?
Overall.
They are.
Yeah,
Are
but it can't really be about. I mean, it could be, but it's either going to be Varian Wren as an adult, probably when he gets kidnapped and becomes an orc fighter. It's a long story, or it'll be the Burning Legion one with that I just talked about. That is what it will be. I don't think they're going to go with like another. They're not going to pull anything from Warcraft 2. Basically, is what I'm trying to tell you. Anywho, my number one pick for film of the year. It's no surprise. It's Moulin Rouge. I said, and I stand by it, Moulin Rouge is the best film we've ever reviewed for this show.
Hang on, I got a button for it.
Thank you.
There it is.
I partially blame this movie for why I gave Phantom of the Opera 1 thumb up, because we watched this one first, if I remember correctly. Yeah. And it kind of spoils it for you, because this movie's so good. I think part of the reason it is so timeless is because it doesn't have, and it's also the reason why they put something out that is so incredible. You mentioned, as the first time, and it wasn't from stage to movie, it was straight to movie, is because they use the modern songs and they do it in a fun mix way. Like all of the songs in this film, this musical, are actual songs that they have turned into musical versions of it. It's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. And the songs fit incredibly well. The soundtrack was huge. The movie is incredibly well acted. It's so quirky and funny when they're doing the song trying to convince the Duke to invest in the show or whatever, and they're doing the it'll run for 50 years song as it's so funny and visually striking. The graphics are incredible. I don't think I've ever, whenever I say my 5 favorite films of all time, Moulin Rouge almost never makes it. And I don't know why, because I think Moulin Rouge could be my favorite movie of all time. It makes me cry so much. It makes me laugh. Like it is the best of the best. So I don't know why I never put it on my list, but this year it's definitely making my list. It's my favorite film. I think it's the best movie we've watched all year, hands down.
Go all the way back. You'd have to go to February 5th for that, by the way. That is as far back as it took us. Well, you referenced it earlier, and I know you were hinting that might be the case, and it is, in fact, my favorite film of the year is Sinners.
Zach, don't go.
Hands down, without a doubt. Hands down, without a doubt. Look, we saw this movie in theater, in the theater based on basically your recommendation. There were other people who had seen it and said it's good. You should definitely give it a shot. But when you came in and said you gotta go, you gotta see this movie, I'm at the point, man, where we don't generally go to the theater unless it's a I guess a genre film, or like it's almost exclusively Marvel, or it's like Jurassic Park is doing something. Basically, if I'm following up on something I already know I like, right? Most of the time, that's when I'm going to spend the money to go to the theater and watch something that I'm really into. Sinners was not that. But what it was, like you said earlier, Ryan Coogler, who, of course, is an incredible director. It's Michael B. Jordan, who, again, I've never seen him in something I didn't care for. It's Haley Steinfeld, who, by the way, also is like that. She's very much reaching that level.
Del Rolando.
Right. And it's a period piece.
No.
Also a thing that I'm into. Yeah, I think it's great on you. It's a period piece. It's a horror flick. It's got comparisons to From Dusk Till Dawn. It's vampires. Once it starts getting heavy into the Irish lore versus the Black history of the era. Oh my God! It's just every moment of this
and
movie.
The music.
And every time that I've seen it, don't even get me started. I've said this before, and I probably talked about it when we reviewed Sinners for the show back in October. Sarah and I now exclusively go to Alamo Drafthouse Theater, specifically one in St. Louis, but I'd love to go to some other ones and try them out, mostly for their policy of, hey, if you talk, you're getting kicked the fuck out, get off your phone, that kind of thing. But also just because they have a really nice environment outside of that. Like it's clearly like, we love movies. We're here for that. They do a curated pre-show for every film that you go to see. So before they get into the actual trailers, rather than seeing ads for some random car dealership or some life insurance or whatever, you go in 30 minutes before the movie starts and you see clips that they have, or things that they have put together that are exclusively for that film. Most of the time, if it's a Marvel movie, you're going to see stuff from like classic versions of the character or like a quick recap of what's been going on with that character in the MCU. For Sinners, almost the entire pre-show was a combination of clips and trailers from old vampire or blaxploitation movies like Blackula and Shaft and like again earlier vampire flicks too. Even just the original Dracula, Nosferatu was on there. But a lot of it too was just essentially music videos. Now there wasn't much to the video of it, but music of that era, just the classic, Crossroads blues, Robert Johnson and that sort of thing. I remember distinctly looking at Sarah in the middle of that pre-show and going, I want to see this movie, but I also don't want this to end. I would sit here and just do this all day, just watch these clips and listen to this music all day long. Sinners is legitimately one of the best movies that I've ever seen in a theater, and easily, in my opinion, as much as I loved a bunch of other stuff we saw, the best movie that I've seen this year. It's one of those things that's going to end up making a high list for me as well, like you were talking about with Moulin Rouge. I have no problem going back and watching this movie. It's long, and I don't care.
Yeah.
I will go back and watch it pretty much anytime.
Every moment of it. It's quirky in its own way. It's incredibly well written. The music is out of this world. There's a couple songs that I actually have in my daily rotation. Great performances, and it's still a horror movie at heart. Like there's blood, there's gore. I think one of the creepiest things I've ever seen in a movie is the scene where the Irish vampire is singing and they're all kind of dancing around him and you see their eyes glowing in the moonlight because they're vampires. That's creepy. That's incredibly creepy. That is effective horror. That's not Screamboat where the little mouse jumps and cuts the guy's penis off when it's in the girl's mouth and then she backs up with a prosthetic dick in her mouth. Sorry. That's a thing. Well, maybe we'll review it next year because Zach, I think, is trying to talk me into, or he might have already talked me into, I don't know. In October, we do Terrifier. We might have to talk. Hunter is sweating already. We all are.
You see the flop sweat hitting my forehead.
So that's
I'll take my lashings for that one.
That's you'll never be on this show again if we do that. Hunter won't allow it. It'll be the unofficial Tonight Show ban list. And it's just one name, Zach Kurgas, 30 times. And Ethan probably. So, because he killed me in the BZ85 Plays game.
It's true.
I ain't gonna forgive that.
He just murdered you.
Yeah.
He murdered you.
It's his fault I'm a ghost. I banned him. I banned them. We had a great
boy.
We had a great year of movies and a great year of bad movies here on the show. But fear not, good citizens. First off, Happy New Year if you're listening to this after the fact.
Yeah.
It's 2026, and if you're listening to this, I am dead.
No,
he's
not.
He's
dead serious about coming back for more E&E.
I can't beat that. What have we got on tap in 2026 for E&E? It's going to be a good year.
Oh, brother. Yeah, we got a lot of stuff. We got a lot of favorites coming back. We got a lot of newbies. Right out of the gate, we're bringing back Cody Sandusky all month long in January for James Bond January. This year, it's 00 features. So you're getting 2 James Bond flicks a week. We're finally going to cover the George Lazenby one. A lot of your favorites from Diamonds Are Forever to The Spy Who Loved Me to Skyfall.
To a Kill.
Spy to a Kill. In February, we're switching things up. We're moving off of our musicals. We have actually had a different theme in February every year since we've done this show. This time around, currently it's called If It Bleeds, We Love It. It's Alien versus Predator.
I'll figure out a reason.
Each week we're going to cover one Alien and one Predator film, and it's going to culminate with the Alien versus Predator like combos. So that's all happening.
Zach's on. You down for that, Zach? Thumbs up.
In. You're of course I am.
All right. All Curtis all month long. All Cody in January, by the way. I think you mentioned. I want to hammer that. Yeah.
Cody Sandusky coming back. We're bringing back the March of Games as well. Video game movies in March. We're bringing back Animation April because Lindsay won't let us not do that.
She cooks my dinner.
We had a back and forth. We had a back and forth decision. There's we had Mel Brooks May last year. We had a lot of fun with that, but there was also a suggestion about Muppet May. And that might be a thing. We'll see about that.
Oh my God. I just fucking figured it out. You know what we need to do? Announce now, for one night only, we're bringing back arguably entertaining Mel Brooks versus the Muppets, and whoever wins gets their month.
So we do it at the end of April. Okay.
My God.
I'm putting it on the list.
This is why I booked wrestling for years.
Vince versus Mel. There you go.
You got to put the robe back on.
And you know what? I'll let them pick all 4 movies too, because that's going to be Lindsay and Tanner is what that's going to be. So I'll let them pick all 4 movies from that month. Why not?
Yeah.
Wet Hot E&E Summer comes back this year. Our June, rather than being just general blockbusters. Look, we've gone almost 3 years of doing this show without doing much in the way of superheroes, without doing much of a superhero genre. So we're just going to call it Super June, and we're going to hit the highlights. We haven't decided on the specific movies, but there's a lot of options, from Justice League to the Avengers, from Batman to Spider-Man, X-Men, all day long.
Yeah, but to get to X2, we'd have to watch X1, and we haven't watched X1.
That's true. So we'll figure it out when we get there. Right now, we're just giving them a lowdown. In July, I love this. I came up with this a while ago, and I sent it to you, and you literally responded, I love that. Rather than saluting a specific actor, we're going to salute a specific director. So in July, we're keeping it Spiel. It's a salute to Steven Spielberg, covering the classics that we haven't already covered.
We're going to phone home.
Done, Jurassic Park and a lot of stuff. Oh, yeah. E.T., Close Encounters, Schindler's List, Saving Private Ryan. It's all out there. Yeah.
I hate E.T.
It's going down.
He always looks wet.
He is wet.
He looks like a booger.
Except for when he's at the council meetings. He's not wet. They look pretty dry.
How do you know?
All right, Hunter, can we change someone's name to ETs at council meetings are dry?
Dry ETs at council meetings. I'm writing it down. Dry ETs at council meetings. What did I say earlier would be a good band name? I can't remember. That would have been a good one too.
The Silent Dirigible.
Yeah. And the Silent Dirigible. I'm going to change it shortly.
It's so good.
As the year rolls on, we're bringing back to school August because it worked out so well for us this year, legitimately. Sequel September has become a favorite. Whether it's going to be bad movies or not remains to be seen. We'll see what happens.
It's a horrible year for that.
And then, of course, it's all the classic spooky season. October, we'll bring back Shannon's employee picks, nostalgic November, and then Christmas plus an actor who is yet to be named.
It's a shame we don't have. It's a shame we don't have time to do 3 movies a week, because in October you could call it Terrifier, Triple Terrifier, where we do the movies, Shannon's picks, and Terrifier. You know what? I'll say this now. If Hunter can't make it for that, I would consider doing that for Zach.
I'll make it happen.
Our first ever triple feature. Whoa.
I mean, the closest we ever got was when we did Star Wars month in May. And
but we enjoyed that.
That's a lot of Star Wars.
Well, and also
we did
them all on the same. We did them all on the same show.
Right.
That was, we did one show for 3 movies each time because there was just so much you could say about each one. So,
well, I can't wait to hear what we say about Terrifier. Yeah, and then what's our Christmas?
We haven't decided on an actor yet. It's just typical holiday season plus an actor. We're literally a year away, so we got time.
Yeah, well, you do. All right. That's the 2025 Podzilly Awards.
He's dead serious about coming back.
And congratulations, Podzilla 1985. One, congratulations, E&E on two award show, our second annual, but also congratulations to, well, don't remember where I was going with that. What was I saying?
The show itself, we're coming up on 11 years.
Nah, it wasn't that. It don't matter.
This was the 10-year anniversary.
Of what?
Podzilla.
Oh, yes. Congratulations, Podzilla. 11 years.
Podzilly.
It's the Podzilly Awards. The awards balcony.
You can't handle that right now.
The awards balcony is closed. Thank you guys. We'll see you tomorrow for an all new. Oh wait, a cheap plug real quick. Also on Thursday we're getting 2 episodes. Not only for New Year's, kicking 2026 off with a bang. Because not only will we have the first ever After Dark, and you know that's going to get wild. But that's also the official release date for, and the haters hate it, the Midnight Coterie, Tools of the Devil, the new album comes out on Podzilla first and probably only on January 1st as well. Look, I've been working on this thing for over a year and you're going to fucking listen to it. I'm going to send it out individually to all my friends and say, what'd you think? Except Asa for obvious reasons. But everyone else has to endure and listen to it. Look, I think I've made it's 15 tracks, no skips, like Bowen Yang would say. I think it's one of the most incredible things I've ever done. It's a story. It's not just an album, it's a story. So that will be available for free January 1st, and then After Dark after that. And then we'll do some streaming this weekend. PZ85 Pro. I can tell you a couple matches right now since we're plugging things. And then I remember what I was going to say earlier. First off, Double H and Austin Lane tagging up against Brandon Barbwire and Big T. This is the fallout from Global Cooldown. So, you know, a lot of things happening here. 6-man tag. Listen to this. Jesse Kimball, Hellbound Heartless and Astrocide versus the Queen's Court. Starry the Queen, Dame the Dark Horse, and Bishop the Blade. We also know that Wheelin' and Dealin' getting back in the tag title scene as best they can, taking on the Greek Goddesses, who at this point are just begging for that title shot.
And if I'm not mistaken, are one of the few that have beaten the Greek Goddesses.
That's true. Maybe the only one in regular tag. Yeah. So that all goes down this Saturday. Go back while you can and watch last week's pay-per-view because it was incredible. And before we get out of here, what I was going to say is this is officially, congratulations, the longest episode of E&E we've ever done. 2 hours. We did it. Ooh. So,
we did it, boys.
Question mark?
Yeah.
Okay, we're out of here. We'll see you tomorrow.
No, not that one.
Double H, take us out.
Oh, I was just going to play another sound.
Okay.
I got nothing.
And may the odds be ever in your favor.
They weren't for me.